Hello and welcome to this new live stream. Today we will be talking about capella-scan 10. First of all, you just saw the trailer. By the way, I'm sorry, there was still a German title in that. But please tell me how you thought this was. There have been mixed feedback about this trailer. Some people think it's too long. I think it's pretty okay. Please let me know in the comments. Also, please let us know in the comments how you found this stream. We have different ways to reach you, and we would like to know how you learned about this one. That would be very useful. Okay, so we will be talking about capella-scan 10 today, but before we do that, I have the recommendation of the month. Each live stream I recommend one artist, musician, and today this will be this one. Annenmai Kantereit. I thought maybe you would be interested in German music, so I chose a German artist. This name, Annenmai Kantereit, is not only a little strange in English, it's also strange in German, but the music I think is really nice. He's really pretty well known in Germany, not so much on an international scale, I believe. If you want to check him out, yeah, you should. And secondly, of course, if you do have a band or an orchestra and you think you would like a little more visibility. Oh, you were notified. Hang on, let me check this. Ah, yeah, okay, nice. Nice, good to hear. Thank you. Welcome. If you have a band or an orchestra and you would like to reach a little more visibility, please send us an email, and if I like it, I will gladly recommend it. Okay, that was the intro basically. Let's talk about capella-scan 10. Today we will be looking at the new features, but I will also give you some tips and tricks generally concerning capella-scan, how you can improve recognition. The reason for that is that sometimes we get emails asking us if we have improved the recognition quality in this new version. While yes, the recognition has been improved, the recognition quality was not the main key feature of this upgrade. Capella-scan 10 mainly focused on improving compatibility with Capella or with other music notation software. We have also improved the sound. This way you can now use VST3 plugins. These are sound libraries. I will show you this in a second. To improve the playback quality. Then we have also more information about our score in capella-scan because we have integrated the work mode that we know from Capella. And last but not least, there's an optimized handling of recognition errors. This is really nice and really very useful. All that I will demonstrate that in a second. However, we have improved recognition in the sense that there are new symbols, musical symbols that are recognized now. For example, dashed slurs and stuff like that. This also improves recognition. But generally, when people ask if there could be a better recognition, it is because they have a sheet music that looks pretty okay, and they scan it with capella-scan, and they get nothing at all, or maybe there's just entire voices missing. And this is not a problem of recognition quality. It is most likely a problem with the staff identification criteria and the system template. This is why I'm not only showing new features, but I'm also showing how in general you can improve recognition by tuning these settings. So to speak, improving the quality lies within you, the user, as well. Okay, so before we actually get into the new features, there's one, because I will be opening a couple of files, so I will be talking about opening files and optimizing images for a second. We have this. I have prefabricated this score. This is musically, this is nonsense. If you wonder why I do this, I have examples to show you dedicated specific problems or issues or problems and solutions in capella-scan. When I show you a whole score, there's a whole lot going on. I only want to focus on one detail at a time. And secondly, simply due to copyright issues, it is just way easier to work with prefabricated like little scores. Hello, good morning. Somebody else in the chat. Hi, welcome. Okay, so yes, long story short, this is our first example. As you might see, maybe it's not so easy to see right now, but yeah, the resolution gets worse and worse with each line, and I did this on purpose. So let's see, we have this option here to optimize the image. While in most cases this works, it does not always work. And in these cases where you have good quality and a bad quality, this can lead to something like this. So you have a pretty good scan and you expect a pretty good result and you get this. This is highly disappointing. And I will show you the reason and how to fix this. So you can see right now, when you open it the first time, you will see it in this mode. This is grayscale image. And in this view, it looks fine, you know, but it looks like totally recognizable. However, if you switch to black and white image, you see that actually capella-scan doesn't see a lot. It cannot make sense of this. This is too much to ask. In this case, you go to the contrast up here and you manually increase the contrast. I'm not gonna lie, I tried this before, so I know that like 245 worked pretty good. You see now, you see a lot more. And when you let it recognize again, you see absolutely flawless. We have 3 times exactly the same. This is what we wanted. That was our first tip. And the second one, before we get into the features, is when you open a PDF, you are asked if you want use embedded bitmaps, that's the first option, or convert whole PDF pages to bitmaps, that's the second option. In most cases, just go with the first option, use embedded images. We could talk about why this is and how this works in detail, but actually this is not very useful for you as a user. You should just know, try this one first. If you're not satisfied with the result, check if it's better if you convert it to bitmaps. You can start with 150 and then next try 200 and then next try 300. And if none of this works, please send us an email. Don't get frustrated. Don't get sad or mad about this. Just send us an email saying, hey, I'm stuck. Help me. What am I doing wrong? Or maybe it's the scan that is just, it doesn't have the required quality to be recognized by capella-scan. We will help you out the best we can. And we answer all emails. So please just send us an email if you're really stuck with something. Okay. That being said, I'm going to use embedded images now. Bitmaps, because I want to show you the VST3 plugins. So normally, let's see, this is a sound font that is included in Capella, which sounds like this. That's pretty good, right? That's nothing to be well, it can be improved, that's why we improved it, but it would be okay like this. But if you choose this one, I have implemented it already, so I can just activate it. There you go. You see, it's a much better quality. If you want to implement VST3 plugins, we are a little late on the English documentation, but if you have any questions, well, see this one again. If you are stuck with implementing a VST3 plugin, just let us know and we will assist you. Okay, let's get into the other features. Let's start with the automatic placement. I have this one. Okay. So let's see. Let's recognize it first and see what will happen. See, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. This happened in the German live stream as well. I did not remember this. Okay, let's pretend this doesn't happen. So this is the score as it is recognized right now. This is basically how it would be recognized in capella-scan 9 as well. And apart from this title being, you see, well, where is it? Apart from this title being anchored at the wrong point, there you go, this turned out pretty well. Now, we don't expect any big mistakes, any problems, because it looks pretty fine. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to transfer it to Capella. And once I've done this, there you go. This is pretty much what I saw here, right? Not a big difference. Looks pretty good. Now, let's pay attention to this one. If I want to convert the placement to an automatic placement, automatic object placement for all graphic objects, I will encounter something interesting. These are not on the same height anymore. And it is really surprising because it looked fine just before. And why is this happening? Basically, these objects do have different functions, and these are not identified correctly. Now, if the objects in capella-scan are not placed automatically, I don't really see this problem until I'm in Capella, and then I have to fix it. So a better way to do this, we thought, and I think we were right, is to include the automatic placement in capella-scan as well. And if I activate it, now you see I encounter the same problem. It's not really a problem, it's an easy fix, that these two are not linked on the same height. And I can choose this object here. And it is without category, so auto placement doesn't know how to deal with this. In this case, I will simply go to Dynamics Text. And as you might have noticed, normally the quasi non-vibrato could have gone down to the piano sign, but since there's a slur in the way, the piano sign gets shifted up, which is pretty cool, I think. Yeah, that's why we have the automatic placement, to prevent this like second workflow in Capella. But this is not all that we can automatic place. So the slur placement can also be automatic. Then you can also manually choose if you want it above or below. You can have an automatic lyrics placement. Now, this was pretty much standard what I did before, so it's not really a big change. What is a big change, however, is that you see this one here, the quarter notes. I chose to use little unusual stems exactly for this. When I pick automatic placement, the orientation goes, well, it goes to a convenient orientation. And the beam setting, that is also really interesting. I created a 5-3. Well, it's a little strange, the beam as I made it. And if I click on automatic, I can choose between small beam groups. This is what we have right here. And I can also use large or bricks plugin in Capella. This setting that you're setting right here will be overwritten anyway, so you don't have to worry about it too much. And then we have like the staff spacing. As you see, it can be automatic as well, uniform. Okay, this is, I think, everything we needed to know about the automatic placement. Let's go on with the synchronous bar lines. I will open this one in capella-scan 9 first. Yeah, I have it already open, so we can check it out. So this is like, we have 3 times basically the same thing, except I entered a little error in the tenor right here. So in the first system, everything is fine. So we will be looking at this measure for a while. Quarter rest, eighth rest, 3/8 notes, and then a half rest. That's totally fine. However, if we have a recognition error like this one, which is not so far-fetched because sometimes the C symbol gets falsely identified as a 8th note. In this case, you would have an 8th rest here, and that is one too many. Capella-scan calculates the measurement and says, oh yeah, well, there is something wrong, and we have a red bar line. That's very useful. However, what capella-scan 9 would do is it would still use this error. Right down here, you see it is entered into the measure, which leads to not synchronous or asynchronous bar lines. As you see, the bar line here and the bar line here are not on the same level anymore. You see right here and right here, everything is shifted to the side, so to speak. And not only that, this extra 8th note that we have in this line here in the tenor will be used again in the next one, and this will like lead to more and more mistakes, and this shifts even more and even more. This is really well, it's a big problem actually. And if you have a big, like on a small scale like this, it's not that bad. But if you have a big score like with a lot of voices, it can be very, well, frustrating, and it's very difficult to see what's going on exactly. So this is why we have this change in capella-scan 10. Let's open the same score and let's start recognition, and same measurement here. Okay, then the same recognition error, so to speak, in this one. And now let's take a look at this one down below. Here's something new. In yellow, you see an eighth note and a quarter, an eighth rest and a quarter rest, and you have a red half rest. What does that mean? Capella-scan recognized that there was an error. That's why we have the red bar line again, but it did not leave it as it is and leave you with like a chaotic asynchronous bar lines, but it replaced the recognized half rest with this one, like with the quarter and the eighth rest, to make it synchronous again. This does not mean that you don't have to fix the mistake, like you have to delete this eighth note, but at least the other measurements, if they can match, they will match. So this is very helpful to get like a first good impression of your score. So if I delete this one now, there you go. Now everything is like default, and same is down here. If I have to, I think I would have to, oops, sorry, I would have to delete this one. Yeah, and then I would have to make this, oh no, actually I think like this would be good. Yeah, anyway, you can fix the error then. Okay, that is the synchronous bar lines. Now quickly let's check out the new symbols. This is just an example. There are lots more, but these are the two that I could find quite quickly. These are, hang on, there's a little mistake there. Dashed slurs and tremolo bars are recognized now, which means, well, this will also improve recognition. Yes. Do you have any questions? This is a good point to ask this, because those were the new features I wanted to present today. 1 second. Okay, well, if you have questions, you can still write in the chat. In the meantime, I will be giving you some tips about how you can improve staff identification. So let's close all those and let's start fresh with some new examples. First of all, let's check this one. Apologies, the description is in German, but maybe you will scan German music as well. I don't know. I know that this is a strange setup, but this is on purpose. So let's simply start the recognition now. And as you can see, besides these two, there you go. This is perfectly recognized. There's nothing too surprising about this. Everything is well in order, you know. It even translated Posaune to trombone, which is nice. Anyway, no problem at all. We have as staff identification criteria nothing, and we have create system template automatically from first system. This is our default setting for the beginning, okay? Now let's change gears, switch gears, switch gears, I think. Let's open the second one. In the second one, I have deleted the voice descriptions, the staff descriptions, and let's check this one out. And happy to report, besides this silly little, there you go, everything was recognized correctly. It does not have names now, of course. It doesn't know which instruments these are, but it is staff 1 through 6, 1 through 6. Everything is perfect. Don't worry, we will get to something more exciting soon. Okay, now we have a difference, and that is that down here there's another voice introduced. This is not that common in, I think, classical music. It's not that common, but for example, when you have a choir and maybe there's a saxophone solo at one point, or maybe there's a piano at the beginning, then it stops, you know, it can change. Your score can change in that way that when you recognize it now, you will notice that there is a slight problem. And that is that we have the 6 staffs recognized correctly up here. But down here, we have something that is, well, it doesn't know what that is because that's one too many. What we can do now, we can start to identify the staff by clef, because please note that right now we have 4 times treble clef, 1 bass, and then treble. And here we have 5 times treble and 1 bass. So if we add the clef as a staff criteria, you see that it tries to fit the same pattern, which means 4 of those, 1 bass and another one. So this one is out of order. And now if I add also the staff identification criteria key, there you go. It recognized that this is not the same key as this one, so it gets identified almost correctly. Now we only have one more problem, and that is if I want to, you know, assign this to a voice, I can't because I only have 6. This is because I've created the system template automatically, but from the first system, and we only had 6 staffs in the first system. So what do I need to do? I activate all systems. And now I have 6 up here, and I have, hang on, let's go like this. No, that's not what I wanted. Hang on. Okay, there you go. I had to click on now again. Now we have 7. And now we only have one tiny problem left. And that is, this is actually not correct because this one needs to be the second staff. There you go. Okay, I hope I didn't go too quickly with this, but as you can see, it starts with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. This is how you can fix this. Okay, now let's see what happens. Actually, that's quite logic if you have something that is not so clean. So maybe you have a coffee stain or something like this on your sheet music, and if you start recognition again, you will see that we get some mistakes. By the way, we get the mistake that I simulated before, which is the C was mistaken for a 8th note. Now, I have the same system template and identification settings, but it cannot recognize it like this because there are key, you know, identifying criteria missing. So I will need to fix these. If you have to fix something like this, the easiest way to do this is just copy paste. So I select this one, copy, and then right click with the mouse, we'll enter this one. We can do the same here. We have to delete this, enter this. We do need another key here, which we can do up here. Let's simply insert this. Please do not, by the way, I meant to say that, please do not do this, like with the single ones, accidentals. That's not what you want. You want this one. And then you don't have to guess where it belongs to be because it's already in the correct setting. Okay, and then we have another one missing down here. Okay, this should work now. Let's see. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, exactly the same thing as we have. Is it? Yes, it is. And the 2 here, and everything is fixed. Okay. I hope this was not too fast. If you have any questions, ask them now or send us an email and ask it via mail. But actually, commenting is way better for us to respond. This way, other people get the response as well. Last but not least, let's have a look at the search function. So I have another one here. this time we don't care about the staff identification. I wanted to show you something else. If you have a letter, so let's see. Yeah, I wrote a letter here, like a G. There might not be a letter like this in your score, but maybe there's a note, or maybe there's something, a little smut or something can be mistaken for a letter, for example. If you have a score like this and you want to quickly find these little recognition errors, a good way to do this is to go via the search option. So we have image and we have search right here. And when you go on, let me reset this first. Okay, so if you click here, you can see everything actually. You can search for everything. And I could search for any text object if I click here, but I can also click on this one, which is search for chords. And if I, whoop, sorry, my mistake. Okay, and if I do this, it will be identified directly, which is pretty practical. And then you don't have to select anything else. You can just hit delete. So basically, if you have a big score with some graphical elements which gets, well, if they get like falsely recognized a lot, you can find these little elements quite easily with this, which I believe also improves the workflow quite a bit. Oh, there you go. This is pretty much everything I wanted to tell you guys. So let's go to the lobby and wait for questions for a second, because maybe I left out something. I will take your silence as a thank you. We understood everything. And well, thank you for watching. Please tune in next time. Next stream will probably be in a month or maybe in 6 weeks. Capella-scan in the English version is still in preparation. It will take a little more time, a couple of weeks. Please stay tuned. We will of course announce it via our social media channels, but we will also send you a newsletter announcing the release, the official release date. When we have the release ready, please take the, well, thank you. Please take the opportunity to download the trial version and test it out. And if you have any questions, I know I repeat myself, if you have any questions about the software, please contact us. We will be happy to help. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.